Welcome to Prediction Market Movers. My name is Chris Gerlacher. I'm the industry analyst at Prediction News, and we have a great treat for y'all today. We have one of the biggest movers and shakers in the industry right now, Aggie at Blondie Predicts. You can find her on X at Blondie Predicts, and you've probably noticed that she's already one of the most influential community members online. So we're going to talk to her about how she got into prediction markets and how she built the community so quickly. But before we do that, if you are here with us today, give this video a like, subscribe to our YouTube channel at Prediction News, and follow us on X at Prediction News. Now, Aggie, you have a background like nobody else, and I want to go all the way back to the beginning. How did your professional tennis career begin? Because it's quite a long way from where you've ended up today.
Yeah, I mean, I started playing tennis. I was like 6 years old, and I was a very active child. I could never just sit still. So my mom was like, "Gotta put her in some sport," and tennis just seemed like one of her friends' daughter was playing, so she put me in, and I kind of liked it. I tried, I think, a few others like ballet and like ice skating and all these other things, and tennis just seemed like my kind of thing. It was like a mental sport because at a certain level, everybody can hit the ball pretty good. So then it just comes down to your strategy and your mental toughness. And I think that has kind of carried, into my life now.
Yeah, it makes sense. And how long is when do you go pro and how long are you a professional tennis player for?
Well, I mean, I wouldn't really call myself pro. I consider, if you're like pro, you're like playing at a US Open and all these things. So I kind of just end up playing college. I worked also, I was coaching it. I was also coaching college players. I was getting my MBA. And, I had a discussion with someone recently about would I consider the world number one my peer? And I'm like, well, I guess maybe if we're playing at the US Open final or something like that, I guess. But yeah, I mean, of course I could hit and rally with her, but they just, she would just be so much better. And back in the day, I think if you weren't like top 20 in the world, you weren't really making that much money. There's not much sponsorships and kind of like social media deals that they're there today. So I kind of just decided to go the business route and focus on like other endeavors. But I still play once in a while and I enjoy it and it's super fun.
Nice. I never figured out tennis, so I'm always envious of people who frankly figured out any sport, but I did like tennis for the duration that I struggled with it myself when I was younger. So you said you were
with it.
Why did I struggle with it? I had a hard time just directing the ball, right? I could hit it, but sometimes it shoots off way over here to the left and I'm aiming the opposite direction. So
well, maybe it was just a technique issue. I'm sure you can, if you can walk straight, you can, I think you can, work on your direction. We can work on that.
You can teach me next week in San Francisco.
Absolutely.
We'll get there. So you said you were getting your MBA. When did you decide that it was time to transition out of tennis and go into business? What did that decision look like for you?
I guess I was playing college tennis. I mean, nowadays there's like if you're like the top college tennis player, you try to go pro. There's a few girls and guys that have done it in the US, but it's like kind of very, very rare. You kind of either choose around the age of 16, you're going to go pro, or you're going to do the college path, which a lot of people from Europe, or I'm from Latvia originally myself, kind of decided to do. And I was, in college and tennis was fun, but I was also a bit burnt out, to be honest. You play since you're 6 every day, sometimes twice a day, practicing, playing, traveling. It's exhausting mentally and both physically. So I don't know, business just seemed the way to go. My family has their own businesses and just kind of like grew up with that as well on the side. So it just kind of seemed like the natural progression for me.
Very cool. Family of entrepreneurs. What were the companies?
So my family's in real estate and also like children's clothing and kind of, I guess you can say textiles manufacturing.
Very cool. And when do you joined a finance startup in New York at some point, right? So tell me about the move from Latvia to New York and how you come to finance.
Yeah, I mean, I was trying a bunch of different internships. I was just trying to maybe fit in the corporate world a little bit, even though it was never my calling per se. So during like college, I would like intern in different places, and I was just always like, I didn't like being told what to do, I guess.
Yeah.
And so I would always wanted to make my own decisions. I guess when you're in a tennis court, you there. I mean, your coach might coach you a little bit before or after, but end of the day, it's you there making all these decisions as each point and in between games. So kind of, figuring your strategy. So I guess I was just kind of like used to it. So yeah, going into business, and just, trying to finance. I think everybody in New York kind of dabs their feet in finance at some point. You just get kind of sucked into it. I was interning at like a digital marketing agency, and then they the partners sold it, and then they were starting a new thing, and they asked me to come and join them after I graduated. So I wanted to try it out, and it was fun as well. I learned a lot, but yeah, it was just ultimately wasn't my thing.
Right. So what was that company, and what they have you
I was
doing?
like, yeah. So it's like algorithmic trading. They were basically building their own algorithm, kind of like in Shopify, when you can build your website without knowing how to code. So
Okay.
you can basically kind of like use these modules to make your own, trading algorithms, which is kind of like, I think one of the prediction market platforms is kind of doing the same thing as well these days. So it was kind of, and I talked to them, it's like kind of like a full loop. So it's kind of like interesting that all the prediction market stuff, how much they're taking from like traditional finance and like crypto and gaming, how it's all kind of like converging into one.
Right. I know the position there wasn't for you, but how did you enjoy just being in the finance industry or being in TradFi at that time?
I mean, I did like it. I'm a numbers person, I'm analytical. Like I kind of get a lot of like, I guess, stuff behind it. I was almost like, oh, should I become like a data scientist and do all that? But then ultimately, I guess the technical aspect of coding and all that wasn't what I envisioned myself to do. It seems like a lot of time to be by the screen, and I'm just like an active person. I was like, I'm gonna be on a go. So it kind of didn't work out. Wasn't meant for me, but yeah. I mean, it was great. I did enjoy it. I love it, and it was just like definitely helped me to be where I am now, because I think just even understanding the process from the other side is very helpful.
Right. And two things happen next. One of your good friends from Latvia also moves to New York, and you both end up. Is this when you both end up starting companies?
Well, I have other like companies that have nothing to do with prediction markets, which is
Right.
kind of like confusing to funny. I mean, confusing to people because they kind of want to put me in a box. They're like, okay, you're a tennis player, and that's it. Like, oh no, you do prediction markets. Oh, so and then you also do this, and then you have like a beauty product company.
Yeah.
So people just can't figure me out. That's been like a bit challenging. So I've been kind of trying to keep my personas separate, but I think the more interviews I do and just meet more people in real life, and then like, oh, so and so, so it's all kind of merging naturally. But yeah, so my friend, she kind of moved here, and she was like in the dating industry, had started a dating app, and she wanted to do something like with predicting the matches a bit better, and kind of ended up in the prediction market world. And she was telling me about it, and I was like, oh yeah, like I heard about this, and but never kind of actually did like a deep dive. And then I kind of started reading about it, and I haven't stopped.
Yeah. When you first began, she asked you to do content. This is it Evie or Evie?
Evie.
Evie. Okay. Ox Ginger Girl on X. I think she just partnered with Polymarket today, or at least announced
Yes,
it today.
it was announced today.
Yeah. So two very high profile figures in the industry already, and she asked you about producing prediction market content. At this point, you're both working on separate projects. What is your content background, by the way?
Well, I have zero content background, you could say. I mean, I'm pretty crafty. For my like beauty product company, create kind of all the marketing materials and stuff like that. So I know how to use more like static things, like make a flyer and stuff like that. Like it's easy for me to make like a meme, but I'm not very good at like editing videos and making YouTube or TikTok style, which she was like great at. So we thought initially this could be like a great, match. And I was like more like research this and figure out. And then we just kind of realized we wanted to have like a bit different visions and what we want to say and how we view the space. And I was like, you know what, this is great. It's better to have like two different perspectives. I think it's interesting. I think it's not quite competition. I don't think it's competition. I think we're just both in the same space, and we're just saying similar things from our own perspective, which are different and different experiences that we had. And I think we make each other better for it.
Yeah, I think so. And so when you begin reading about prediction markets, what is it that you're beginning to read that makes you go, oh, this is it?
I don't know. I just kind of started reading, and the first was like the data. They're like, okay, this is like political polls versus like the prediction markets. I'm like, it's so much more accurate, or it's been proven. I was like, okay, there's something here. And then the more I started reading into it, and then just realizing the potential and talking to people in a space, I realized like, wow, where this could go. And I can envision, because I remember when X, like Twitter, first came out and people were like, what is this? And I didn't quite understand it back then. I was like, oh, why would anybody like care to like read what someone says, like in a little like tweet, all these like little characters. I mean, now obviously it's changed a lot. You can do so much more with a platform, but then I didn't like realize it. So then I was like, okay, next time something like this exciting and big happens, I'm going to like fully embrace it. And so I'm embracing it, but I also understand it. I think all the like tools that I have from the past help me kind of like navigate it. And also like, I kind of see where it's going, and I'm talking to some people, and first they're like, oh no, I don't see it's going to be like this. And now it's kind of like other people start saying the same thing. And I'm like, okay, I'm on the right path.
Very cool. And what is it about prediction markets that made you think that they were going to be like the next social media, the next big thing?
It's just how much I'm getting into them myself. I was, I have like Instagram. I've never had like a TikTok or anything like that. And so I was like, okay, I'm spending so much more time actually looking at these markets, reading about them. I'm like, I don't even check my Instagram at all really these days. So I was like, well, I'm like moving from it. And I think people just always like, there's just like a natural evolution. We had like, I guess, MySpace and Facebook, and then it's like Instagram and TikTok. And I feel like prediction markets it's not a replacement for social media. I think that's always going to exist, but it's just like another kind of platform that's going to compete for attention.
Right. Well, it's the engagement, and it's the ability to really ask any question and engage anybody on any topic.
Exactly. It's asking the questions. It's seeing what everybody else thinks, because you can see it in probabilities versus going through the comment section, which half of that is like bots these days anyway. So actually, I feel like you're getting real opinions and real numbers on where the world is, whether it's about politics or it's about a Taylor Swift song. Like it doesn't matter what the subject is, but I think that's kind of cool. And of course, I think there's like a comment section there too, but I think it's going to become more social, and people start sharing their trades and strategies and things like that. And it's super early, but once people are even more open about it, it's just, I think everybody's going to be out there and about, kind of like everybody was used to take their food pics. Now everybody's going to show their trade pics.
Everybody, that'd be hilarious. Well, when do you begin to post content online and on X? Because the prediction market persona is fairly recent, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, basically, I kind of just read up about it. I'm a go-getter, and decided, you know what, I'm gonna do this. And I kind of posted my first tweet, and I started working on an article, bringing women into prediction space, and that was kind of it. And I haven't looked back. I mean, I don't think it's even been 2 months yet, but I'm fully in.
Nice, fully in 2 months. Well, how did you begin to build the community online?
I think I was just posting, and I started following and engaging with other accounts that I thought were awesome and asked questions, and I would slide into DMs. I admit it. I have no problem with that. I mean, I want to learn. I want to ask questions. I want to meet people. I've had, I don't know, over 30 calls with people from all over the world, and seeing what they're up to, what they're doing. And it's just fascinating. I'm here to learn. And I'm also, I think, maybe people don't see me as a threat because I'm not building like another market or anything like that. And they're like, oh, what do you want to do in the space? And I'm like, well, right now I'm just learning. And I kind of decided to organize events. And I think that's kind of be my edge, because I'm, it's I don't know. It just seems like I'm good at bringing people together. So this is like a way to can bring people together and learn more about it. And even my girlfriends, like I tell them about this, and they're like, oh, well, I don't know. And I'm like, and then I try to think like, oh, how could I like motivate them to, it's kind of like being a coach in a way.
Yeah. How is it like being a coach?
I mean, I like coaching tennis. It was definitely, I guess, rewarding. When people listen and they improve or whatever. But I think also that they're like the player has to want it. Now it's like the trader has to want it. They're like, you can only motivate someone so far. Now they kind of have to have like a little bit of talent as well. Maybe it's like a bit different when it comes down to not having a physical talent, more like a mental talent. But I think in prediction markets, everybody has an edge in like some topic, because it's so wide. You're maybe not very good at like your forehand, slicing, or like, top spin, and that's only like few things you can do, like serve, like that's kind of it. Versus in prediction markets, there's so many markets and so many topics. And I think everybody can find their advantage, even maybe that's not going to be their full-time job, but at least it could be like their, I don't know, like a side hustle.
Right. And how are you bringing more women into the space?
So yeah, the one idea is to do it through the events. They can certainly come and like learn more about it and kind of make it more social. And then yeah, I think having markets that are more appealing, even if though they're not necessarily highest volume in the beginning. And I think a lot of platforms are interested in doing them and they're kind of like experimenting themselves. So the bigger the platform, the more resources they have for that. And yeah, so just trying to partner up with some platforms and kind of help them kind of create the markets that I think would work for kind of bringing the female audience.
Sure. And what kind of markets are those?
I think they're mostly cultural, not to stereotype. I mean, of course, there are women that care about sports and
Mhm.
politics and that. But yeah, I think all the like pop culture and entertainment, all those markets are kind of fun. And me myself, I've been recently getting into mention markets, and it's kind of like cool. Like I
Mhm.
know when my friends that are guys watch like a game and there's like a touchdown, they're like, yes, like touchdown or score, and they're like and I'm like, why are you so happy? And like it's not even your team. They're like, oh, I had money on it, right? And so what I would say when I'm now watching like kind of like someone's speech, even if it's actually political speech, I'm
Mhm.
actually more interested in it now because I have like money on the line, even if it's like $10 or something.
Right. Yeah. No, I also like the mentions. They're yeah, I know they're some of the most popular markets outside of just sports and politics. And Trump said fat shot in September, so I made some money. That was fun.
That is fun.
I
Yeah.
get it. Um, but why when you onboard women into this space, how important is it to have this dedicated space where there are other women saying, hey, I know you're one of the, one women for every 7 or 8 men in this field, but you belong here. You can take up space here. How crucial is that community?
I think it's super crucial to feel like welcome. I think I saw a tweet this morning. I was like driving and I didn't have like I was getting in a car, so I didn't have a chance to reply. Like somebody was making fun of another woman in prediction markets,
Mhm.
and I was like, and this is why this space doesn't feel welcoming. And I wanted to, like write like a snapback comment on it. But yeah,
Mhm.
so I think at least we have to. I mean, that's not the case. That was just like one comment and two ones
Right.
that I've seen. But yeah, I think it's just supporting each other. Like recently met up with another girl. She's like super smart and she's like interested in prediction markets. We like grabbed matcha and just kind of feeling, hey, you should really get into this. You're young, you're smart. Like this is the place where it's heading and the future. And she's like seemed to understand it. So I think, yeah, I don't care if it's like a coffee or a call or actually meeting up
Mhm.
in person. If wherever we are, it works out. Like I just that's I don't know. I kind of feel like my mission. I just wish I had maybe like a mentor when I was like younger at certain areas. So I'm just kind of giving back in that way.
Nice. You can be the kind of the safe onboarding person for all these people who want to get into it, all these women who want to get into it.
Yeah, I would love to. I mean, somebody has like a question because I don't think there's even like a course how to do like prediction markets or
Mhm.
stuff like that and kind of explain like, or I think I made a meme once about like prediction markets for dummies, like
Right.
super basic, even like the fee structure, like your exiting positions, people say, oh yeah, you can buy it, let's say 30, and when it goes up to 60, you can exit. But then like, okay, like, what are the fees on this? And like,
Mhm.
what if you want to exit only, it's only up by 10? Do you actually make money at that, So there's like all these like things that I think women are just naturally more risk averse. So I think we need a bit more like knowledge before we make our first trade.
Right. And when you talk to these young women who want to get into the industry, who want to become traders, do a lot of them have financial backgrounds, or are you also onboarding women who are, new to finance or new to trading in general?
I think it's a mix. I think for men, it's a lot of crypto crowd that's coming.
Yeah.
They're like very crypto native. For women, there's not many women in the crypto to begin with, but yeah, there's some for sure. But overall, it's just like a mix. It's finance, it's fashion, it's Swifties, whatever their angle is. So right now, I haven't seen like a pattern that's like someone specific, but I think I definitely want to go after kind of the finance girlies just because
Yeah.
they already understand the number, like, or they already like halfway understand it. I would even say not half it, and like 75% they're already there. Now it's just like, I don't know, explaining it. And I was explaining it to my mom and she seemed to get it. And I was like, okay, so we're on to something.
Yeah, very cool. And how do you see the, larger platforms like Kalshi or Polymarket, making an effort to onboard women compared to, these smaller startups that are just trying to ship product and not thinking about who gets it?
Yeah, I mean, the bigger platforms, they obviously have more resources, and I think they've been trying, and it's not their main focus. I mean, they have so much going on. I think on their hands themselves legally and all these other issues, and so
Mhm.
that's maybe they're working on it. That's for sure. They're trying, and I think they're welcoming. And I'm talking to a lot of platforms, but yeah, for smaller ones, of course, they're just trying to like get in the game, and their focus is not women right now, but they're
Mhm.
interested. I mean, they like, keep us in the loop, things like that, but they need to like grow a little bit more before they can kind of, I guess, afford time and effort to get,
Mhm.
more women in.
Yeah. What advice would you give those platforms that are, just growing, that are just trying to ship product, but, still need, I mean, everybody needs customers, and, you bring half the population on, you go, a long way towards solving your liquidity problems. What advice would you give them to, do a better job of reaching not just female traders, but women who, are coming from social media or coming from anywhere outside of finance?
Yeah, I think it would just be about finding their niche, whether it is, yeah, from social media. And then I think I saw some article about like sororities and how like these brands are now going after sorority girls, and they can really like push their agenda, whether it's like clothing or drinks, like, like, I don't know, pop soda. And so I think just finding a category that aligns with their own brand and based wherever they're based, if they're based in Europe versus US, what
Mhm.
makes sense. And there's so many categories and so many
Mhm.
niches, and I think finding like a group that can like support them, or it's like college kids, or I don't know, like the athletes, or
Mhm.
something, or the musicians. So like whatever the little niche is, they can definitely like learn to like dominate that.
Mhm. Yeah, and how do you think brands can leverage prediction markets, even if they can't launch real money markets in a regulated space? How do you think they could use them for, social media online, or how might they engage with their audience online through prediction markets?
I think they should definitely embrace it. I mean, people want to connect with brands and just have like
Mhm.
the two-way conversation, rather than just I walked in the store, I brought you a product, and that's it. And I think, yeah, instead of like surveys, they could literally do like prediction markets and help them choose the next color or the
Mhm.
next collaboration. And I don't know, people want to be part of something in an age where everything's kind of like less authentic online.
Mhm.
So that way, I think, yeah, every brand should embrace it. I mean, most brands, it works for them, maybe not every single brand per se.
Mhm.
But yeah, I think like fashion and beauty brands can certainly find the way, and that will help them also go viral and just spread, kind of
Mhm.
have like as a marketing play. So yeah, they just kind of have to see what makes sense for them, what's like their angle that would like separate them, because it's not like
Mhm.
kind of one fits all.
Yeah, it sounds like you're describing like free money idea markets that different brands can, use to poll. So instead of forecasting, is it going to be yes, no, red or pink lipstick color? I know that's an example you've used before in writing, but you can actually have people suggest and trade, and have the brands settle the market themselves after the market closes.
Exactly. I mean, they could totally do like a point system you enter, a lot of brands give you like loyalty points, right? So you could technically, maybe use those points to enter or like put them on whatever your opinion is. And then you could win eventually even more points. And then you get to spend them in the store. So like a gift card sweepstakes type of stuff. I mean, there's so many ways brands can do it before they really jump into I guess with all the legal stuff, there's still a lot of
Mhm.
things that I don't know, but there's a way around it, and brands can be creative, and I think that's what the marketing departments are for. They can figure it out.
Right, they'll get there. Um, well, what about the? I want to ask you a little bit about the crypto space. Are you seeing any projects in there, prediction markets, that are particularly interesting to you, solving problems, adding a lot of value to the ecosystem?
I mean, there's so many things that I think are happening right now. I don't know if I have one like at the top of my head, but there's like different ways how they're approaching it. But I think also there's some that are trying to combine things and make it easier. So I think those are the ones that would succeed the most, or at least the fastest, because they're trying to simplify things rather than create another app or another way to do these things. People want more simple. It's kind of like log in and everything's like there. So I think a platform that kind of incorporates all that, connects all the wallets like somehow in place, and things like that. Within the prediction market, I've tried to like even create a market just for fun, and then I
Mhm.
have to like one wallet to another to connect it, and it wasn't easy. Like, I
Mhm.
mean, I think I'm pretty savvy, but I was like determined. Like, I didn't quit, but it took some time. Like, it should have been,
Mhm.
I think, a much easier, and we're heading there. And I think the platform kind of nails it first will definitely have like advantage, especially
Right.
among the crypto people.
Yeah, the first user-friendly crypto platform is really gonna, really gonna pop. It won't just be Polymarket anymore.
Yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of competition, and it's going to be very exciting the next few years.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, what's next for you? I know you've got the prediction market event at San Francisco Tech Week coming up next week. What's that about?
Yeah, so I wanted to start organizing events, and I'm not going to wait till kind of like after. Obviously, Token was happening. I guess it's still happening. And then I was like, oh, I'm going actually to Tech Week myself for other reasons. And I was like, why don't I just host an event while I'm there? And so, yeah, next one's in San Francisco on October 9th. And then the week after is the LA Tech Week. So I'm going to be there as well. It's October 14th. And yeah, I mean, a lot of VC interest because I kind of like see who's signing up on the list. A lot of VCs, a lot of some traders, students, trying to get like a couple prediction market people to come as well to be like on the panel. And yeah, I mean, it's an exciting space, and I see a lot of interest because I have another friend that's more like traditional finance, and they're doing an event and they don't even have as many signups as me. So I was like, okay, like this is definitely like something interesting. And I also kind of posted my event after them as well. So I just kind of seeing people, there's a lot of interest, even though San Francisco maybe is more about AI these days, but somehow people just kind of, I think there's a lot of happening now in the news. I mean, on Wall Street, South Park, you name it, it's kind of everybody starts hearing about it. So everyone's kind of like starting to listen. So yeah, so those are the next two events. And then the one after is going to be New York when I'm back.
Oh, very cool. Yeah, and are you going to keep writing as well? I know you have a few articles in the Women in Prediction Markets X group. Are you pursuing that as well?
Yeah, so my kind of thing is that every Monday I post an article. I think
Nice.
this week or last week I posted twice. I just couldn't wait or got excited. I was like, it wasn't necessarily about women per se, even though I think social media has a lot to do with women. So yeah, I guess I could like tie in a bit more like women. So mine right now has just been like more general audience. But yeah, I want to kind of identify the women in the space. I don't even send it to, even if they're not necessarily prediction markets, they're regular finance or something, and just kind of get them talking about it and go to these events as well and invite them to like learn about it.
Yeah, so these events are also going to be an onboarding space or an on-ramp for women new to prediction markets as well.
Yeah, exactly. So it's kind of cool when I guess if you're like a newbie and then you meet, someone who's already in it and they can like explain it to you. So when you're like, oh, that's cool, versus it's just like a lot of newbies or everyone's like a pro. So there has to be this kind of like mix and match, and people just can learn from each other and just also see, people that are building platforms. What do people that, don't know anything about it or know very little, what are their concerns and thoughts? And it's just like kind of like a full circle, and everybody can learn from each other.
Sure. And fast forward 3 to 5 years, where do you think not just the prediction market industry is, but where do you think women in this space are?
I think we're definitely part of the game. I think there's going to be like women going on TV, just like you see now on CNBC. People are going and talking and going to like the stock exchange and ringing in the things. And I think we're going to be there for sure. And yeah, and I just want to keep continuing making my events. I mean, now they're going to be kind of small, 100 people or less, but eventually, yeah, I want to do a really big event next year. So I think, yeah, that will help to get more women. And we just kind of slowly but surely. I mean, I think every day there's more and more. I mean, it might not be accelerating like this necessarily, but it's slowly building.
Right. Well, I think you're definitely doing the good work out there and fighting the good fight. Where can people find you if they want to, keep up with your content, keep up with your events?
Yeah, I mean, X is the best. So I'm at Blondie Predicts, and also my profile says at 51 Alpha, which is the event company that I have. So yeah, they can follow both, but they kind of repost each other, I guess. They're both my accounts. But yeah, Blondie Predicts is the best one and most active on X. And I have like a Substack, and I think that's also on my, X bio.
Sounds good. What's the name of the Substack?
Blondie Predicts.
Nice, easy to find.
I'm just keeping the same name for everything, and it's not trying to like reinvent the wheel here.
Yeah, well, awesome. Well, thanks so much for stopping by and talking to us. This was a really great pull back of the curtain on the industry and getting more women into it, and some of the great community building that's happening in the space right now.
Yeah, well, awesome. Thank you so much, Chris. I mean, you're, one of the first ones to kind of invite, so you're helping, the women to onboard us. And thank you so much for having me. And I hope a lot of women hear this and watch this that are interested. And yeah, even if we got one more woman today, like I'm happy.
That's fantastic. Well, if you're still here with us, like this video, subscribe to our YouTube channel at Prediction News, and follow us on X at Prediction News. And I'll see you in San Francisco next week, and I will see the rest of y'all in 2 weeks.
Awesome. Thank you so much.